Hey guys, quick video on the Pocket Shield. This is made by Raven Concealment. It's about 25 bucks and it actually originated from a guy named Chris Fry who runs MDTS training. And I actually trained with a guy, I took a couple of his trainings, and he's actually a great guy, really good teacher, and learned a lot from him. And he's a very big advocate of EDC and being prepared, and a lot of his philosophy on small fixed blade knives for self-defense has rubbed off on me. And I wanted to try out his product, so I bought this thing. I've been carrying it around a bit and wanted to give you my impressions of it and just show you what it is, because this isn't, like a massively popular item and most people really haven't even heard of it. So this will hold all kinds of gear in your pocket, and it can hold it in ways pretty much as much as you can imagine. You can see here I have a fixed blade hooked down with Chicago screws. The rest are just pocket clip it in, but you could put them in with zip ties, paracord, shock cord, whatever you can think of really. And you have all these different slots so you can adjust for ride height. You can cut some of these out if you want certain things to ride lower or higher. You can make modifications to this. If it doesn't fit your pants, you can always clip or trim so that it does. Now it is a very soft plastic, you can see, so it will flex with you. This, at first when you look at it, you're like, oh my god, how uncomfortable is this going to be? But it's actually not, because it completely and totally flexes with you. And also over time it will conform to your body. You can see here, this one here is already kind of molded to my body and fits with me. It fits a pretty good variety of my pants. I have a couple pants that it doesn't work with. The pockets are just too narrow and I can't get it in there, but for the most part I'd say 90% of the pants and shorts I own, this actually works. The benefits of this is, number one, organization. You know where everything is in your pocket. Now when you have a whole bunch of different gear that has pocket clips, do you really want a pocket clip sticking out of every pocket? It just makes you look like a tactical asshole. And like I've had people say that to me before when I've had like a pen, a knife, a flashlight, and like a multi-tool, and they see like 4 pocket clips and they're like, Jesus Christ, what are you, like, going to war, buddy? And it's kind of just awkward. Plus you're telegraphing to the world that you have all this gear on you, and that's not always a nice thing. So when I reach into my pocket, and this is one of the things I like, I know where each and every item is, and I'm not telegraphing to the world what I have. That I have a knife, that I have a flashlight, those different things. So it is kind of cool, and it actually works out kind of nice. Fixed blades, of course, you can set all different ride heights, different angles, make it kind of work for you. And this is what I really like, is just you can set this up for however you like. And for me, this thing right here is about the perfect setup for me, and it takes up one pocket. So literally, I can take all my usual gear, which is normally spread out amongst 4 pockets, and put it into one pocket. So it frees me up for other things like spare magazines, holsters, anything, So what I found is it's actually pretty darn convenient. I really like the thing so far. The only complaint I have is it is difficult to take out. There was a couple times at work where I had to go through a metal detector, so I had to take it out, and lots of times I had to pull the individual pieces off and then pull it out of my pocket, because it just gets a little tough. What I find, to put it into your pocket, there's 2 ways that are pretty convenient. One is to kind of fold it a little bit and then slip it in, or the other way is to kind of put it in sideways and then work it in. So, but as you can see, stability, pretty good. I mean, if your pocket clip is good, it's going to hold it good. That simple, And if you are using something like shock cord or zip ties, they're going to work as well. But you have so many different options to hook things up, how to set things. If you want to set a different depth, like say you don't like this being, you want this a little lower in your pocket, you can actually just kind of push these little tabs out a little bit and hook it in lower. So you can really do a lot with the different ride heights and all that. And it's pretty easy getting things back into your pocket, because this is kind of folded to your pocket. It creates a little space in there so you can slide things back in fairly reasonably. And plus, kind of like too, is I can turn the flashlight on and I can actually see in my pocket. I can just kind of pull my pocket out and look in there and see. So that is kind of neat. Another good advantage of this is that protection. When you're a guy that carries a lot of sharp things and you have kids, one of my biggest worries is that one day, maybe like a tip-up knife is going to be in my pocket and it's going to open just like just open like that. and my kid's gonna run up, jump into my lap, like slice open a femoral artery, and it's just going to be a huge wreck. That's like one of my biggest fears about carrying a lot of gear. Now this protects yourself, not you, but it protects young kids and things like that, maybe people climbing all over you, from any malfunctions with your gear. And let's be honest, you know, malfunctions do happen. If you've never had a pocket knife come open in your pocket, at least a little bit, you probably haven't been carrying a knife very much, you know. Granted, you know, better quality knives, this will happen less, but for me, you know, I grew up using cheap flea market knives. I had a lot of those things come popping open in my pocket over the years and stabbed myself a couple good times. So now having kids, I do really like this. And plus too, you know, like if you sit down somewhere, like people can't see all that stuff in your pocket. They don't know what's in there. It camouflages very well, and it gives a nice smooth appearance on the back side despite having all this gear. So it is pretty interesting. So it is a really neat thing. You can set it up with all different types of gear. You can see there's just a couple little options here, but you can put, you know, multi-tools, all different kinds of stuff in there. Anything you can imagine, then find a way to hook in there, you're gonna be able to do it. There's quite a few pictures on the internet of people and how they set theirs up. Some people actually use this as a pocket holster for a firearm. They'll take their Kydex holster and just take off the pocket clip and attach it with Chicago screws, and that's a good way to use this as a pocket holster. Some people use it for spare magazines. Likewise, they just attach Kydex inside of this with either Chicago screws or zip ties or whatever. So there's so much you can do with this beyond just knives and all that, and it can be a good way to shore up your equipment and keep it organized in a way where you, when you reach into your pocket, you always know where things are. I know that how many times have I reached into my pocket, and when you're fishing around, that pen may feel like that flashlight. You know, that knife may feel like that knife. When you're looking for something, now I can actually use my EDC and create a system out of it and know exactly. Fixed blade's going to be here, this is going to be here, this is going to be here. That way if I'm switching up pocket knives, maybe doing different things, I can always have a guaranteed place for each item, which I think is kind of neat. Overall, it's a neat thing. Is it perfect? No, absolutely not. It is, like I said, a little goofy with some pants, and some gear fits better than others. But if you play around and make this work for you and spend the time to try and make it work, it can definitely be worthwhile and can definitely help you out with your EDC.